to not be harboring that, I hid anxiety, that I'm not weak and I'm not a bad guy because I almost tried to kill myself. And it was almost become freeing. And when I layer in this food is your medicine, and I layer in some of this exosomes and some of this treatments, it's amplified me to where I'm becoming for 6 decades on this earth, national champion, Super Bowl winner, and I never was at peace. And here I am waiting for a liver, and I'm finally somewhat at peace. It's really a dichotomy. That's why I'm so passionate and emotional.
I made it through the rough time. I made it through the tough time. I made it through the bad time. So now I gotta get mine. Gotta weather the storm. Gotta get mine. Gotta weather the storm. I gotta get mine. Gotta weather the storm. Okay. One day we gon' get on. Talk to 'em. You ain't got a choice.
Welcome to Bailey and Buck Unplugged, where we talk about sports, entertainment, and mental health in support of the Kennedy Kids Foundation. If you're struggling with mental health, we encourage you to speak up and get help. A great place to start is 988. That's the free crisis prevention lifeline. Or you can check out the resources tab at kennedykids.org. If you are in an absolute emergency, please dial 911. Either way, we want you to know that you are not alone and that you don't have to struggle, and speak up, get help. There are resources available to you, and we are here to support you. If you're new around here, I want to introduce you to our host. I am Misty Buck. I am an author and a mental health and performance coach. And my co-hosts are Robert Bailey. He is the president of Rosenhaus Sports, the president of Kennedy Kids Foundation. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time college national champion. He's an NFL record holder, and he's an ESPY winner. And we are also joined by Bailey Brooks Masburn. She is a celebrity wedding and event planner, a former NFL cheerleader, and the executive director of the Kennedy Kids Foundation.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Bailey and Buck Unplugged. We have a super duper extra special guest today. Guys, we have Bernie Kosar. You know him. He is the man. He played for the Miami Hurricanes. He led the team to a national championship in 1983. And he's basically the reason that Miami became known as Quarterback U, right? So we're so excited to talk to him. He had a super successful 12-year NFL career, and he's doing a lot of incredible things right now in the community, in his life after sports. And we cannot wait to dive into this conversation today, because we know that mental health is something that Bernie is super passionate about. So welcome to the show. Thank you so much for making the time to be with us today.
Oh, it's outstanding to be with you today, Misty. You matter.
You matter. You matter.
I was trying to dig out my starter jacket. It was from like the mid-90s, so a little bit later, but I couldn't find it in time.
Well, you know, Bernie, it's great to have you on, Bernie. It is. It really is. Bernie and I are really close, not because of any other reason other than we played at the same school, but we didn't play at the same time. But I earned his respect because of the way I played. You know, the guys, as you go through University in Miami, the way you earn respect from the alumni is you have to carry on the winning tradition. Mm-hmm. And me and Bernie became close really when we were in the NFL, and I would see him and we would, hey, I'm a University of Miami alumni, obviously. And I was obviously, fanboying because Bernie was an older player, a guy I looked up to, and just really, I want to tell you, Bernie, I really appreciated the way that you accepted me into your grace, and just it lets me know that I did a lot of things right, because you don't really befriend everybody, but for the way that you've treated me throughout the years, Bernie, I just want to tell you I appreciate you, man.
Well, I so appreciate it. Thank you both for swallowing my cranium up here. I mean, I'm even more than I usually am with that. But Robert, it was easy to compliment you, and I don't want to be like giving you way too many compliments.
Right.
But the tradition that you carried on from our first national championship and the way you carried. And bluntly, I'm not sure for younger kids and mothers today, but the way that we were able to play really physical University of Miami football, you absolutely epitomize that.
Yeah.
Honored to be, a fellow Cane with you, but also even more so a brother with you, and as we go through this life's journey.
Right. Well, Bernie, we are absolutely excited to have you on our podcast. And, our podcast is about mental health and suicide prevention. And Bernie, you're the perfect guy. You're very active when it comes to your health. You're very active when it comes to passing information to alumni and guys that played in the NFL and guys that are your teammates and guys who weren't even your teammates. I mean, just the other day, you sent me information about studying for CTE and all these different things, memory loss. I'm so excited how activated you've become just trying to help a lot of guys, because for us, a lot of guys, we don't know where to turn. A few months ago, one of the guys I knew in the NFL, he wasn't a teammate, but I played against him. He committed suicide, and it's just, we got a lot going on, Bernie, and I'm super excited that you have captured that bug to really take it upon yourself to help as many people as you can. But with that being said, Bernie, you also have your past, right? And I wanted to start the first question by saying, when it came to your mental health, tell us about maybe an event or something that may have happened that really affected you, and share that with our fans.
Well, thank you for that. It's interesting to me, and we would love, and for the listeners, viewers out there, I'd love just to be acting cool, like going over old stories, sitting here as a 61-year-old man representing coolness and being at my physical and mental peak and stuff. And I absolutely would rather talk about the 1983 national championship, or in between the 1993 Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys and Jimmy Johnson and stuff. I'm so proud to have played with Jimmy Johnson, University of Miami, at the Dallas Cowboys, and with the Miami Dolphins. And those 10 years in between the national championship and the Super Bowl, to proudly be with the Cleveland Browns, and not to be cocky, but for me, Dan Marino and Joe Flacco, to be the only three quarterbacks to go to the playoffs his first 5 years in the NFL. I'd rather talk about all that cool stuff and then stay about that. But in reality, when all of that stuff was going on, and you're at the top of your game, and you, Robert, in particular, the bravado, the confidence that we had to show, the quarterback of the quarterback of an NFL team must be an extrovert. He must believe in himself. To believe, Coach Snellenberger used to tell us, is to be strong. But here's a little insecure little boy who is basically autistic. Autism runs in our family. I have to learn to be a pretend extrovert because I'm really introverted, and trying to become a really good quarterback to fit in and become whatever a man is. And pressure. Even today, as a 60-year-old, people still want to be able to say, oh, I'm a man, I'm tough, I don't have emotion, I don't cry, I don't have feelings. That's all wrong. And to suppress all that, which I did as a young kid, I'm proud that I was able to be successful and absolutely be productive and come out with outcomes out the other side that are super cool, whether it's a national championship or a Super Bowl or some of the cool playoff games they got to play in Cleveland. But the ramifications of that were just unbelievable. And when I played football, I really didn't do any psychoactive medications and stuff, the pain medications, the ADHDs, the Adderalls, Vyvanse. As a guy who's really anxiety driven and trying to really pretend to be cool. So men aren't allowed to say that from Youngstown, Ohio, steel workers, chauvinistic, beer drinking, shot in a beer type stuff. So to be able to really deep down be that person, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, you start getting injuries. And, you know, I have Parkinsonian symptoms, early stage Alzheimer's. I'm waiting here on the liver transplant list. I was told 8 years ago I have 5 years left of cognitive brain function. I couldn't remember that I'm talking to Misty and Robert Bailey. I couldn't enunciate, articulate, communicate any multiple syllable words. So I don't say any of this here today to really brag or anything. But Robert, to your beautiful point, us guys are lost. We're suppressing what's really happening, and we don't know where to go for natural, healthy, alternative outcomes, so that you could sit here on a podcast today and enunciate and articulate and be somewhat fluid. So I'm so proud of my number 19 being down at the University of Miami. But here I am after probably 60, 70 surgeries, 180 broken bones, 100 plus concussions, 15 seizures. Yes, the moment that it happened to me 8 years ago, I was in hopefully my last seizure, had a coma in a coma for 96 hours. And when I came out of it, the doctor said, man, you're a tough guy. You're doing great. Keep up with your prescriptions and protocols. I'm like, bro, I'm on like 100 pills a day. Here I'm in. I mean, we've had 5,000 people in the last 12 months die of the overdose death here. Again, I love my number 20 in college, number 19 in the pros. But 19 people will commit suicide today in the state of Ohio. 22 veterans will commit suicide in our country today. I am so not proud to be sitting here today in front of you saying I could have, should have been either one of those two terrible statistics when it comes to an overdose death. And I'm embarrassed to say, but from a depression standpoint, from a suicide stuff. So for people now to be able to hear things like this, I really give a hats off to both of you to have this amazing type podcast to bring awareness to this, because it's so hard. I mean, Robert, you and me in the locker room, brother.
Yeah.
I'm mentioning this back then. We'd have got eaten. Okay. So I'm not saying it was right back then. It toughened us up. It is why Robert Bailey and Bernie Kosar are still alive and surviving and trying to carry the flag to help our brothers out. So I think I'm blessed coming out the other side of it now. And Jimmy Johnson, Robert, had the greatest line: let the mind control the body, not the body control the mind. Okay.
Right.
And we somehow, some way, make a play. Before we went out to every game, brother, somehow make a play.
I remember those days.
We always got off the ground. It don't matter how little you and me were, man. When they knocked us out, we got up, you know, and that taught us how to get up. And that never quit, that never say die. That's kind of what I kept doing, you know, with this now. So for me now, I haven't done a pill or drank in 8 years. I'm Parkinsonian symptoms. I'm dementia. Okay, I'm waiting for a liver transplant. I was in surgery this morning. I took 8 or 9 liters of fluid out of me as I wait. Yet I'm sitting here without medication and feeling so blessed. The demons in my head aren't buzzing for the darkness. And know who to express that to. And when I have friends and outlets like this, and then be able to be comfortable in your own self, and then be able to figure out some healthy remedies for some of our brothers that are dealing with traumatic brain issues, bluntly, whether it's the Parkinson's, the dementia, the CTE, the TBI, whatever that is, that really amplifies anxiety and depression. So I super work on stomach brain connectivity. You know, I'm so proud to be, Robert, doing that program that's really cognitively saved my life and my body with the Renewing Athletes' Lives. So if there's anybody out there from an athlete perspective that does, yes, if for sure, if you're one of our brothers and teammates, track us down. But if even just guys who have played that we've come through, I mean, we have to protect ourselves. One of the things that's really been clear, and it's a great country, the United States of America, but in our medical system now today, we really have to take our own care amongst ourselves. And as us University of Miami players, we are a family. We're king.
Right.
And as ex-NFL players, I'm not picking on anybody. This is not a sympathy thing, but we must take care of ourselves. And I don't know how, the Jimmy Johnson way, somehow, some way, the good Lord has shown me a gift as to be able to be here today and do this and be able to talk my message, but also not just talk it with words. There's some real programs and real healthy products that, I want you to get on, Robert, and I want our friends to do, because look at you guys. Don't get to the dark side that I got to where you want to pull the trigger.
Do you remember the first year that you realized, hey, you know what, I'm in a dark place? Do you remember that first time, what year it was, and then what did you do to kind of start trying to self-medicate or help yourself? What year was that, and how did you go about trying to get out of that?
Oh, Robert, great question. I mean, so look, it's 2025. We know about the dangers of Adderall, Vyvanse, OxyContins, the fentanyls in there and all of that. We know about concussions, TBI, CTE. As football players, we don't feel bad mentioning it in 2025. But just 10 years ago, you were the Antichrist if you mentioned what CTE, what concussions were. So actually, you could look good like you guys do, younger guys and stuff, yet all this stuff's going on. So yeah, Robert, I still remember being with Dave Durison, Junior Seau, God, not 20 years ago, but almost 15 to 20 years ago, talking about, like, what's wrong? Like, my family thinks I'm crazy. I think I'm crazy because I'm good. Okay, those guys really look good. I didn't look like them. But they look good, but why does my head want to explode? Why can't I hold it together? Why am I snapping? Why do I want to commit suicide?
Right.
Okay? So we talked about our heads hurt, our heads hurt, our heads hurt. And we're like, oh God, then the emotional dumb words, Robert, that come out of people's mouths, okay?
Yeah.
Of things like, oh, I'll just shoot myself in the head. And then you say that other dumb words, well, don't shoot yourself in the head, because people you'll blow your head off and they won't know your head was messed up. So they joke about shooting themselves in the heart. And that is how we lost two of our great, great men, great friends, Dave Durison and Junior. And I'm showing my age right now with stuff like that, but I could go through the layers of stuff. You talk about your friend a few months ago. I hate to drop names, but we've lost so many of our brothers in their late 30s and early 40s from the overdose side of trying to mask maybe the suicide stuff, the anxiety, the depression that's going in. So yes, you self-medicate, and then sometimes you make mistakes, and you end up as the possible overdose death. I was in that space myself. Well, probably most of this century. I'm proud to say that.
Wow.
In 2000, 2001, I was wrestling with these anxiety, depression type issues. And I was way overweight, but I played football at 220 at the U. I got up to a couple ho-hos north of 320. I'm 37 years old. I'm there at the dock, basically, and then me and my 12-year-old daughter, who's 90 pounds, and we both get scripted for the same doses of Adderall and Vyvanse, because we were talking about our ADHD, our anxiety, our those type issues. And for my daughter to get the same script as her overweight father, who played NFL football, set off multiple decade issues. So yes, in me, but man, it's also the responsibility as a father. I'm so focused now on us ex-players, but I'm so focused on on young parents and younger kids that they don't make the mistakes, or at least know that these options are out there. And there's some great healthy options out there before you give your kids meth.
Right. That's incredible. I appreciate all the information, and Bernie, a lot of people look up to you, and when they see you, Bernie, they see Iron Man in their eyes. They see Iron Man, but in your, as you mentioned, in your head, there's nothing iron about what you were going through. It was
Well,
a lot of vulnerability, and it's great to have you share that information of kind of what you went through. Who right now you're waiting to get a new liver. Is that what it is? You're waiting
yeah.
to get a new liver. You're dealing with. Tell us a little bit about. Tell us a little bit about how you've turned it around from being in this dark place to where you are today. Who helped you turn it around, and what was that procedure?
So, basically, I believe in like a human biological approach where getting the body is naturally best positioned in itself to heal itself. And there's a few people out there, and I'm not saying this to be a martyr, a narcissist, or pointed or passive aggressive at anybody. But when I was playing football, I absolutely knew, Robert, we were hurting ourselves. And I absolutely knew that there's long-term ramifications to but bluntly, the head banging and stuff that we did with our bodies and stuff with that. So kind of knew that was going on. But to your question of who really helped me, I don't say this to be egotistical, nor am I smart enough to do this, but I really had to take it on myself. I mean, most of what I've been talking to you about, when you start with the easier things like food is your medicine. Now, I'm an inbred Slovak who grew up on kibasi for breakfast. That's why, those aren't breakfasts of champions. Okay, when we were NFL football players and college football players, having Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, having a big old steak with a steroided potato with a bucket of sour cream and a big bowl of pasta, that's not exactly metabolizing best at noon and 1 o'clock play good football. So there is a massive thing with food is your medicine, and how that absolutely helps in terms of some of the voices and demons that go within your head. So the stomach-brain connectivity for sure is one of them. And that's something that a lot of us could do. And I don't, this ain't a sponsorship deal, but again, I'm a Vitamix juicer, not the pretty white juices, but the vegetable-based, water-based alkaline. Cancer cannot grow in alkaline, and sugar is the enemy for us, A1C, diabetic, cancer, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's type people. So just about everybody out there needs a reduction of sugar and microplastics. So from our diet standpoint, I'm very aggressive with that from a daily lifestyle perspective with it. And then secondarily, for us more challenged people right now, and especially in the dementia, Alzheimer's, TBI type world right now, the anxiety, depression, I've had a massively, and I'm a trustee at the U, and I don't say that just because of the football, but we have a beautiful, beautiful medical school there. And the research that we're doing there is exceptional. And some of the things that we've researched at the U, I'm up here in Cleveland, Ohio, with the Cleveland Clinic up here, University Hospital. There's some University of Rochester, but doing a lot of research now on stem cells and exosomes. And I highly recommend, not to be a scientific teacher here, but for the younger parents out there, to when you have children, okay, freezing the umbilical cord, the placenta, the cord blood, in a cesarean birth, the birth water is thrown away. I'm a scarred Catholic, so I don't look at this is not in the abortion type world, but some of these things that make us beautiful in our mother's womb for 9 months massively awesome research being done for regenerative healing. So basically, I believe a lot of like the exosome stem cells that we're doing for myself that's really saved my brain health is something that I'm super excited about to be able to help some other brothers out there that are really struggling and don't have the confidence not only to talk about this, but also if you talk about it, where do you go? And what's the avenue you drive down? Because look, I was in addiction treatment, I was in wellness treatment, I was trying functional medicine treatment, I did everything the system said to do. And I basically died and got dumber multiple times. So there's some of these newer functional medicine things have bared great results. And hey, even if I'm making this up, okay, and even if I'm selling, the ability just to articulate and enunciate, Robert, you remember with me 8, 9, 10 years ago, it just wasn't there. So when all of this came with the health and wellness of it, when the stomach and brain, with this renewing athletes' lives program that we're doing with the stem cells, yeah, it helped my body. Yeah, I really believe it helped reduce inflammation in my brain. But the demons of darkness, the demons of sadness, okay, they're not completely gone. Let's not kid ourselves for perfection. But the ability to cope and not have the daily anxiety, I'm on the 5th floor here, to not want to go jump off the 5th floor balcony, okay? To be able to stay in a concise, calm, therapeutic way and actually somewhat enjoy my day with the stuff I'm going through. I don't say it to brag. I want other of my friends to feel like this because I know the dark side if you get too far. And that's partly why I reached out to some of the younger guys, because I don't want to see you have the mid to late 50s and early 60s that myself and a lot of my brothers. We had the 40th anniversary of the dog pound the other day, Robert, lined up on the goal line. The Parkinsonian, dementia, liver transplant guy looked like one of the best looking guys out there. I thought I was in the Tales from the Crypt. Okay. Help me.
And you're making light of it, but you're 100% right. I mean, a lot of these guys are late 40s, early 50s, even to the 60s, and if you look at them, they look like they're 20 years older than what.
61. I am not claiming to be a male model, okay? But it's some of my other teammates. Man, some of these guys, I thought they were 80 years old. And I got to tell a story. There's some, I so believe in the history and tradition of the U, of people, of the game of football. I'm a U guy and we're talking about this, but also as a Cleveland Brown. I did not understand this. I've made this mistake, okay? And you can go back and see it. But I was very proud of our lineage at the Browns. So a lot of people call me one of the best quarterbacks of the Browns. Thank you. I'm not. Otto Graham is. And Otto Graham won all these championships and stuff. And I say that because when Lou Groza passed, one of the great Cleveland Browns passed, the rite of passage, us younger guys take care of the older guys. Now, it's a little bit of a lost art now where the younger guys maybe don't feel like that. But back in our day, the younger guys took care of the older guys. So when Lou Groza, who was a lineman for Otto Graham, my Browns quarterback, who is higher on the food chain than me, which means I need to be respectful to him, Lou passes. So Otto is at the beginning stages of dementia and stuff. And his wife and then doesn't want him to come with me. So I end up taking a plane. I have a private plane back then before I lost all my money doing all this depression and anxiety and losing it. And I ended up picking up Otto in Tampa, going to Cleveland for the funeral with him. And at the funeral, I started picking up because I had never been around, say, 10 plus years ago of dementia, Alzheimer's. And Otto at a solemn, sad thing of Lou Gross's funeral, didn't mean it, but because he wasn't exactly there, he started laughing a little bit. And one of the, he didn't mean to. We just sometimes lose our place. And at times, I've done interviews in my past, and when I was not comfortable saying that I'm vulnerable, and I was not comfortable saying I'm maybe not fluid and articulate, in panic and anxiety, you would just laugh or say something in tough situations. And I made a brutal mistake because I'm so proud of what I'm doing in the Parkinson's, the dementia, the ALS world. And so many of our brothers have been crushed by this ALS. And I started 20 some years ago with Robert, it's the look. And I call it the look that us guys get the step before dementia and Alzheimer's. And it's a massively focused look. And it's something that us guys know when the other guys got it. And me and Otto were talking about it. I actually saw that. I saw that in like Steve McMichael, who unfortunately just passed with us. But I saw that in Dwight Clark when he's with the Browns. And it does affect our performance. And it does affect us. But as guys, we didn't know what was happening. And we didn't know it was that extreme back then. So guys that are trying to suffer and cope, and somebody like you, awesome. Look at how successful you're doing, and the amount of people you're helping, younger players and stuff. But it gets harder. And with these issues, and if you fortunately don't have them maybe as extreme, maybe as I had them, or maybe Dwight and Steve McMichael and some of that. But when you start getting more extreme with stuff like that, these are the type of stuff that Jimmy Johnson, again, somehow, some way, I felt obligated to try to figure out a way to do this. So when I lost some of the men that I've talked about in this podcast here, instead of feeling sorry, I actually got mad at myself because I didn't figure out the IV treatments, the exosomes quicker with Junior and Dave. And damn it, close. I've been close for a few years with it. So now to kind of do it, albeit late, it's almost in respect to some of our brothers that haven't still aren't with us on this fight and this journey.
When you say the look, are you being literal? Is there a particular look you can see when in a guy's face, in his eyes? What do you mean the look?
It almost is literal, and
okay.
Saying it from a scientific perspective, but maybe it is because I do talk with a lot of guys and doctors about this. And when you know somebody and you get used to them, just like you and me know each other, and we're articulate, talking, communicating, and we look each other in the eyes, the common respect that our coaches, that our parents taught us to do, and the alteration and the inability of us to really start understanding and comprehending is a step before the more severity of the Parkinson's, the dementia, or hopefully not, but the terribleness of ALS that awesome people like Dwight and Steve and some other people have gotten and stuff. But there's a kind of a look in your eyes of, people, if you don't know them, think it's a look of intensity and focus as to that we care about what you're talking about. But it's really the step before desperation that you could see in your eyes, that I have to look at you so intensely, so focused, because Robert, I can't remember and hear anything you're saying. So I got to really get into your eyes to get into it and really be able to focus it so I could understand it, so I could get something out from my brain to the mouth, the other side, so you don't know I'm dazed and confused. Because I'm not open enough to admit that I can't process, that I can't take in what you're saying, that maybe I took in what you're saying, Robert, but I can't get it back out. And you saw like Mitch McConnell, whether you're a D or an R, you saw him. It's called fencing, midbrain paralysis. I have a dead midbrain. So I could start here with you, like Mitch McConnell did. You ask him a question, eyes are open, look good, you're talking, and all of a sudden, that was 3 counts, Robert. 3 counts.
They freeze?
You freeze. Mitch McConnell did it for 18 counts. I'm convinced Tua has fencing, midbrain paralysis right now. My brain did not start being paralyzed. I did not start freezing like a vegetable until about 12, 15 years ago. I can't fathom watching that poor young man paralyzed on the field at Cincinnati, knowing he has fencing, midbrain paralysis. This is a 26 and 27-year-old. That's why I'm doing things like this. That's why
do you still have midbrain freezing now?
That's why I'm doing that. That's why I called you Saturday night at 11 o'clock. These type things. Absolutely the reason. 100%. And I'm now 61. I started late. I'm coming out the other side, so it's not a negative thing. But I want to help my younger guys, man. You don't need to have a dark 50s. I don't even know. Tua and those young kids who got that now, they're gonna have dark 30s, okay, 40s. So I probably was then too, just didn't know it because I self-medicated through it. Because I was
sometimes when I'm talking or I'm communicating, I freeze, but I'm thinking of the word that I'm trying to find.
And it won't come.
It won't come. Oh yeah, it won't come. And then I just go use another word.
Right. And that delta keeps getting worse. There it is. That doesn't go backwards unless you start, I believe, what we're doing. And that's 100% why we renew an athlete's lives.
Right.
That will be, today it's just a second. Tomorrow it's 2.5 seconds. And today you could change that word, Robert. You know? You have a thesaurus in your head. But and I hope in a couple of years you can too. But
where you started, and as far as you have gone along in with that midbrain freeze, and then this new program you're doing, did it stop or did it go backwards where you're getting better?
Oh, Robert, listen to how I'm answering questions.
You're doing great.
Faking it. My delta now is less than a second on it. Not perfect, okay? And there is still work to be done. I still need to focus, okay?
Right.
I used to brag about being able to multitask when we were kids. Had zero ability the last decade to multitask. Zero.
Right. So you actually got better.
Oh yes, absolutely. Then that's again. It's not the brag. I'm not running for political office. Okay, I want my brothers out there to know you could talk to your family. You could reestablish your relationship with your kids. I am babysitting my granddaughter right now. You could do those things and enjoy it without a mental meltdown of anxiety and nerves.
Right.
Person, just a couple of years ago.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, Misty, have you, in your background, in helping, Misty helps guys, professional athletes, with their mental health, to be able to have a successful approach to the game. Maybe some guys are having some issues. Misty, what are your thoughts?
I love that we're having this conversation. I think we need to have more of these conversations. And there's so much that I'm learning from you, Bernie. But one thing that I am curious, I guess, from both of you actually is, and one thing that I've been hearing and seeing is a lot of I feel like we're still in a reactive space. So yes, maybe we have programs and things that are set up, but a lot of the language when tragedy happens is reach out to me. If you're having a problem, call me. And in my mind, and this is sort of going off of something you said, Bernie, that we need to be more proactive, right? So you brought up, where do guys go? Right? So where do we go? What do we do about this? So like I've been playing with the idea of peer groups for former players, right? Doing things that are creating a designated space where people can come together, sort of recreating that locker room and giving them the opportunity to talk to one another so that we can have these conversations and help people get resources they need, and so they can start to realize, oh wait, it's not just me, someone else is experiencing this, right? So because it
Well,
seems to me that you guys all have this brotherhood, right? You all have similar experiences, but obviously I didn't play in the NFL, so I I don't know. You know, we have that 96 check day. So what I'm sort of wondering, because I continue to see similar themes, I guess is my point, and hearing things like, you know, check in on me, but also we need a place to go. So I'm just so curious, both of you, and sort of like what your thoughts are on that.
you know, to that point of it, it's such a beautiful point. And first, things like this to at least show that we're able to talk about it is really important. But if I can
Right.
make a really big distinction, let's not minimize and trivialize how cool and important that is. Okay. But we are capable to do more than one thing good. Okay, so that is good, and we're going to do that, and we're talking about it. The thing that lost me in my 40s and 50s as an athlete
Yeah.
is only talk so much. Okay, I only want to make a phone call so much. You know, I only want to be spoken to so much. And I don't blame people going through this. So when you're going through these things, you don't sometimes want a homily of conversation.
Mhm.
Say you want for people, and that's this, but you want it with where's the outcome and what are you doing? So like when I called Robert and what we're doing with this, yes, we're talking about it. Yes, there's an awareness of it. But now right away, here's the next step. Here's what you do. So when I talk to people before this and I did this type of call, the brutal amount of phone calls I got for guys desperate for help was
Wow.
able. And I would feel as an empathetic person who deep down is a pleaser, how can I give these guys help? So now in this program, yes, we're going to talk. Yes, you have an outlet. Yes, we're there for you. But we're flat out helping you with your food as your medicine. And you're going to be getting nasal inhaler exosomes ASAP within the next couple weeks to massively save and start regenerating your brain health so that things like whether it's the freeze for extreme people with midbrain fencing, like probably Robert and like I have, yeah, that's an extreme case. And a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm not that. I didn't play football. Well, look at forgetfulness, irritability, anxiety, the inability to grasp words isn't just a football alone problem. So that's all in society. So if we're able now to give them and show them what you could actually take to actually derive those results, that's why I'm so massively excited. I feel like we have a convergence for the first time of an openness and a willingness with a real simple, healthy, clean program to derive outcomes so that, again, when we finish up here today, I'm going to really enjoy, you know, being with my granddaughter.
Yeah, a quick question, Bernie. Can you use the word cure? Is it a cure? Do you
So
think?
I can't, I don't want to say cure because, you know, people are all looking in that 100% range, but I absolutely believe it is not out of the realm of possibilities to have a cognitively fluid, really active, intelligent, non-forgetful brain up to 100. Like,
And
so
even hold on, Bernie. So let me. I just want to get a good understanding of what you're saying, and just so for the public. So you played football. You played for a lot of years, Bernie. All of us. There's many hits to the head. Many hits to the head. There is some cognitive loss because of those hits. So there's some damage that has taken place to your neurons and cognitively, your brain starts going the opposite way, right? So now you don't have the concentration. You're anxious. You can't concentrate. All these different things happen to you because of these years and years of playing football and getting concussions, hitting your head on the ground, hitting your head with other helmets. Now, you're saying that, number one, you're better than you were before, right? So to me, just to be clear, you're better than you were before. So it's not like, okay, you're the same as you were before. You haven't advanced and got worse. You've gotten better. So my question to you is, because for the regular process of people who had not done the program, the regular process would be maybe in their late 60s, 70s, early 80s, dementia, all these different things that come. You're saying with the program that you guys are doing, that you now can live the rest of your life and actually cognitively get better and never get dementia, never get those things, and live a normal life again?
So the never part, okay, at the end is to be determined, and I'm working on that, obviously, because we're new to it. But yes to everything you said in front of that. I mean, yes. And then again,
Bernie, you're going to save lives, Bernie.
It's saving lives, exactly. And to this,
I'm ready to get started, Bernie.
Right now, I know that's what I'm saying. Call Aaron with it. Hey, and for the young parents out there, okay, for the concussion kids, okay, we were all cool. I'm watching NFL players. I'm watching high school kids do it. I did this all the time. Okay, smelling it. Now the exercise and the nasal inhaler. Smelling salts of ammonia. No. Okay.
They banned that here.
I know it gives you a blast. I know it cleans your brain fog up, but it kills more of the neurons in your brain. Okay, we have studies at the University of Miami at multiple schools. This is not Bernie being smart. Okay, you breathe in instead of ammonia. Okay, I have this thing called healthy habits. I'm replacing all my unhealthy habits with healthy habits. Smelling ammonia. Smelling that for smelling salts, killing the brain, was terrible. One of the things we found for fencing, midbrain disorder, essential oils, organic terpenes, menthol, lavender, tea tree. Like if that releases brain fog while creating natural endorphins within your midbrain that needs exercised, why wouldn't you do that instead of ammonia? So there's a lot of simple little tricks and techniques that could help you cognitively, yes, get better to where I could get called right when I hang up to get a liver transplant. I'm supposed to have ammonia buildup and not remember anything on top of the Parkinson's and the dementia. Yet I'm fighting stuff and being able to answer questions. And again, I want to be able to have my friends be able to talk like this. So I'm not the
right. It's amazing, Bernie. It's amazing. But how did you come in contact with them?
Well, when you're in a coma for 96 hours and you basically die, you succumb to Jesus. I knew I had to figure it out. So I had been in a functional medicine mindset of research. Again, the U and the city of Miami, a beautiful international city, but there's a lot of really good functional medicine, holistic healing and therapies out there. And bluntly, I don't recommend this now because there were absolutely bumps in the road for people out there, because I was a self-medicator, okay? And it was bad the first couple decades of this century doing that. But it took trial and error and getting to these studies of something that's natural functional medicine and naturally healing with side effects.
Right. What were you going to say, Misty?
No, I just want to reiterate. So the program that we keep talking about, it's just to clarify, is renewing athletes' lives. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, super blessed. It's expensive. Look at the juicing, the lifestyle, the food is your medicine. Is what the price of groceries and stuff is. When you start getting into stem cells and exosomes, IV treatments, the work to do nasal inhalers, it's a little pricey. So bluntly, the awesome people that have Aaron and Michael Crowley have donated over $10 million of product to my friends and my teammates. So yes, they'll be able, like, good. I'm saying this as a joke. Not everybody's awesome like Robert Bailey to have a great, successful business career post his football career. More the norm is Bernie Kosar claiming bankruptcy in 2014 or 15. That's more of what us brothers do. And that's guys who can't afford that. That's why I'm out here and we're out here talking about it. We will take care of our players and our brothers, and we have found the money. And these awesome people now, and the stuff that has saved and given me a second chance in life, they're awesome enough now to give a lot of my teammates and my brothers a second chance at their life. So absolutely, we want to be renewing athletes' lives, and super proud to be, talking about it really for the first time today with both of you.
So how do
Well,
people
Bernie,
get
I
in
can tell
contact
you-
with you about it?
Bernie, I can tell you I'm going to be a part of your team, buddy. I'm going to help you. I'm going to find guys. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that what you're doing is put out there for guys. I believe in you, Bernie. I don't need to hear the words, but I hear the words literally from, and I'm telling you, Bernie, you're a different person than you were a decade ago. I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad you found this. I'm so glad that you found it not only for yourself, but for guys like myself, for guys that are before and the guys that are coming now, the younger guys. The NFL's trying their best to
For guys to know they could do this.
Right.
They should not go into the blue tent. Okay, you young men, you should not have a concussion issue again without tracking down Bailey and Kosar.
Exactly.
Okay? You young mothers out there with children, okay, don't become like I became. This could be headed off right now. I love football. Look, this isn't run from football. Don't play football. It's no contact. Okay, contact in life, it was good for me. It made me withstand. It made me toughen us for this. But now there's some nice things you could do. So for younger parents out there that are watching their kids play youth football and Pop Warner, I love it. Okay, I love flag football a little bit more early, but as you start getting into high school and that, you don't need to suffer these concussions, okay, without understanding what these exosome nasal inhalers will do to stop the bleeding and inflammation in our brains.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do people connect with you about renewing athletes' lives?
Yeah, Bernie, tell people how to connect with you, how to get in contact with you, and so they can learn about this information. Is there a website? Is there,
You know what? We're putting it together now, and because they are so nice and generous, Michael and Aaron Crowley, to do that. So they're in worked in Rochester, University of Rochester, worked with the University of Miami on a lot of this research and these white papers and stuff. So Robert, you have some of the information, but I'll get you guys Aaron and Michael's number, and I absolutely would love for you guys to promote out. And any of our brothers that are out there that have this, please track Aaron or Michael down. But if you see Robert or myself, we'll get this more formalized, because truthfully, the success I've had with it, Robert, has happened so much in the last 9 months and the expenses of it. But yet now it is legal to do in our country. So it isn't like anything that is off label right now. So
Right.
super proud to do. And then bluntly to your questions, I I'm not sure I could have 1 year ago or 9 months ago sat here authoritatively and confidently know definitively that it worked and that I could give it to you. And more importantly, I can give it to my children. Okay.
Right.
I wanted to study. So we've really, in the last 9 months, have seen this just miraculous changes. Even though my body was supposed to be falling apart, my brain has gotten so much stronger with it.
Right.
Yeah.
How long do you have to take it before you start noticing changes?
I believe, Robert, that you'll start noticing treatment within changes within a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bernie, sign me up, Bernie.
Bailey,
Sign me up.
they've lowered it. I mean, they're done so the stuff that we're going to be sending bluntly to the guys out there. I mean, it's free and that, but it's basically $150,000 for a 90-day program. And you do 90 days, just like you wake up in the morning. Like I take my multivitamins. Okay, I take sublingual B12. Okay, you're taking a nasal inhaler of an exosome stem cell that is regenerating and bringing new cells into your brain and body. So
that's great, man.
Awesome. You'll see, cognitive results within the first week or two. I'm super excited to be able to help guys.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. We Bernie, we are so glad to have you on the show. Misty, this is all new information. I think it sounds like breaking news. I'm so.
It
does. It really is.
Hey, Misty, too, for you being in the business, get the white paper from Eric. Get it. You'll love it. You'll understand it better than us. I'm only regurgitating back what you smart people like you have taught me. Okay. Right. I want experts like you understanding. This is the mission of us talking, to get professionals who care, who understand, to learn this. So absolutely, you're more than welcome. And I'm so excited for you to actually see the papers and see the program.
I'm super interested. I think it gives a lot of people hope.
Yeah.
Right. So where I have seen before, there is no hope, or you're in that dark place and don't know where to go. But I think something like this will provide a lot of hope, and it will give guys that are suffering, I hope, an opportunity to take care of themselves and know that, it's not just about talking like you were saying, because maybe they are talked out. So maybe it's like, here's actually an action plan. Here's a game plan.
Yeah. Boy, hey, and here's another thing. I'm solo a lot. Like, I couldn't drive in other cities. I couldn't drive sometimes in my own city. Okay. You get where you're at. You're on the phone. You're talking. You're live. Wow. Okay. Now, to be able to travel by myself, okay, to be able to drive a car and be able to talk to you on the phone, okay, and know where I'm going and not be at risk. Maybe a little illegal in some states where you're not allowed to talk on the phone, but like, to be able to actually do that now, so many, like Robert, from your age up, man, there's another level of players that will start whispering to you in the corner. I don't drive my car in other cities because I don't know where I'm at. I have to get home. I need the GPS locators. I was that guy. Okay. So they don't be that guy now. Just that, being able to.
Bernie, you're the perfect spokesperson, man. You're the perfect spokesperson. Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Let's keep it up. Let's spread the word.
So I got a question for both of you as we start to wrap this up. So kind of more like on a football fun question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So obviously the U is doing their football team they have some other teams doing really well, like the women's volleyball team, but they're on an incredible run right now. Do you guys have, I'm just wondering, any words of wisdom or advice that you want to give these guys as they continue to run through this season as former players for the U?
Well, I don't have any advice. What I would like to say, is not necessarily advice, but I would like to let them know that we as former players and alumni, we are extremely proud of the way that they are playing, the fight. I haven't seen a University of Miami team gang tackle the way this team has been gang tackling. I got to give it up to my old teammate, Mario Cristobal, Coach Cristobal, the head coach of the University of Miami.
Yeah.
The way he has steadfastly just kept banging it every day. The tough practices, the tradition of what they represent. I also want to thank Michael Irvin for his constant visibility around the facility with the kids at practices, at the games, his fight, showing these kids how to fight. And you can tell that all of these things mixed together is creating an incredible season. I didn't think we could have another season like we had last year with Cam Ward. And for us to be continuing, and even to me on a higher level where I think they're playing even better. And a lot of the guys are young kids. The receiver core are all young guys. So for me, I feel like we are going to be good for many years. And I'm very happy for what Mario Cristobal is doing. I'm very happy for the way the guys are playing. And my message is that we are extremely, extremely proud of our school.
Wow. I could echo that. As I'm echoing that, though, I got to say, man, we got to get Mike. We got to call Mike and make sure he's in this program.
Yeah.
Because he's basically more my age than your age. Okay.
Yes.
I'm so proud to have been with him at the '83 team and
Yes.
the Super Bowl team.
Yes.
And I love him, and that intensity and energy is why we care so much about our Canes brothers. And back in the 80s, and Mario Cristobal is restoring this Canes for life mentality. We are brothers, and there was a camaraderie and a family of how we look together, and it's beautiful actually to watch the team now. The competitiveness, the physicalness, what Robert says, the camaraderie of them enjoying playing the game. One of the things, though, that was really epitomized in our day, though, and it's tough today with social media and that, but I would actually challenge guys to, even today, what's helped me get and figure out somehow, some way, Jimmy Johnson, figuring out how to overcome this brain issue and this cognitive decline was I was never satisfied. I was never really happy. And that doesn't bode well to a mental illness thing, and why probably I was, at risk as an overdose death and a suicide risk, because I never completely was satisfied, and football kept you trying. As players, we are a good football team now at but take it a day at a time, a step at a time, and win the day. One of the things at the University of Miami back in the day with Coach Snellenberger, do the best you can today. Tomorrow takes care of itself. And if you win today, you're going to be in a great spot tomorrow. And I see Coach Mario doing that now with a physical presence that, again, makes us proud to be from the U.
One more question, Bernie. Sure. We have a thing here where we rate our happiness, right? 1 is the worst, 1 is suicidal, and 10 is absolutely bliss, right? And, we always say for majority of Americans, majority of people, majority of community is between 3 and 7, right? Depending on the day and how it goes. But 1 is the bottom and 10 is absolutely bliss. Where are you today between 1 and 10?
I'd say I lived most of my life in that 1 to 4 range. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Even when I was good and winning, we weren't allowed to enjoy it, if you remember.
Right.
Was, what are you going to keep doing? Don't rest on your laurels. And again, that doesn't bode well for mental health and stuff. So, but being a scarred Catholic and having some of the things that's Catholic guilt that's layered on you from birth, and some of the stuff that it takes to kind of be successful back in the 80s and stay alive when it was kind of a killer be killed attitude was that was the mindset of it. And I would say here today, even with these issues, having a surgery today and not just saying this, it's probably in that 7 range now. And
Awesome.
and that's with all these things going on too. So I'm really proud to
You're proud. Yeah. You're happy. You're in a good place mentally.
I wish and again, if one of the last parts of recovery, when you ask about never, are you always back? The last part of recovery is I'm a business major at the University of Miami. I actually used to be very good in business and negotiating, articulating, doing interviews as a quarterback, not saying anything about the upcoming team, being able to plant information and an interview to the upcoming team and their game plan so they don't know exactly what you're talking about, or make them prepare for something else that or just a flat out negotiation with that last part. That part I have not recovered from that. So truthfully, I don't lie, because my Pinocchio nose will get too big, and I don't want to be as a scarred Catholic having to go to on Sunday. So really the truth is what comes out. And now to be able to almost be freed, to not be harboring that, I hid anxiety, that I'm not weak and I'm not a bad guy, because I almost tried to kill myself. And it was almost become freeing. And when I layer in this food is your medicine, and I layer in some of this exosomes and some of this treatments, it's amplified me to where I'm becoming, for 6 decades on this earth, national champion, Super Bowl winner, and I never was at peace. And here I am waiting for a liver, and I'm finally somewhat at peace. It's really a dichotomy. That's why I'm so passionate and emotional to want to share with my other teammates that are not that high in number.
Right. Well, we appreciate it, Bernie. And as we wrap it up, we usually have our last closing question, which is usually, what 3 things today do you use when, you could read a book, you could run, you could jog, watch TV. What 3 things do you do when you're sad or having a tough day? Is there anything what 3 things do you do to reset?
Okay. So first, most people say rest. Rest it's overrated. Okay.
Right.
Overrated. Get up. Okay. Okay. I had surgery this morning. Okay. A liver transplant. I keep saying it. We need to do some exercise, 20 to 30 minutes a day. You don't need to go crazy anymore. This is not a testosterone thing where we got to fire up heavy weights, but a little cardio when you're feeling that, as opposed to feel sorry for yourself and sit down, because the brain races. So to keep the endorphins going, to amplify with a little exercise absolutely helps me. Yes, food is your medicine. The ultra processed fast food is our enemy. So I'm trying to really work on things like that. And then, Robert, it was taboo for us guys to say in the locker room, okay, I breathe in essential oils, I meditate, I do yoga, I breathe, breath work. Okay, we have been called all kinds of 4-letter words, even to have mentioned that now.
Right.
But those type things, coupled with a little exercise and not feeling sorry for myself and sitting around. So to do a couple of little exercise, even if it's walking with breath work, and centers me. And when I want, and one of the things I've noticed as I've started this recovery was, we're quick to race out of it. And it's absolutely given me kind of a calmness to be able to breathe and take a breath before I lash. And when I have that 1 or 2 seconds of breathing and breath work, it tends to get a little lighter outcome of stuff coming out the other side.
Well, thank you so much, Bernie. That was absolutely awesome. Misty?
Yeah, wow. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for making the time for us today. And I can't believe you're saying you had surgery this morning, but here you are
I'm so thankful that you,
joining us.
after surgery, you
I
still
mean,
made
Yeah,
the show.
and
able
you
to go through
blowing
surgery.
my mind.
So a little surgery today. And look at in the system today, I was a pain med guy. I was 906. I was scripted for most of the century, 960 milligrams of OxyContin. Okay, I should have been the overdose death of it or the suicide, like we were talking about. So to be able to do it, surgery, actually awake, I don't recommend it. It wasn't as fun as it sounded, but to be able to do that now and to still be able to come out the other side with it and be able to cognitively be here. I want to be able to show people that it's not really that hard to do either.
Wait, you did surgery today without the assistance of drugs? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, and here you are,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah,
super
they,
He's an
bright and
animal.
energetic and like nothing. Like you
He
just
wouldn't be energetic if he took the meds. Trust
no,
me.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, but not even like I'm in pain and I can't, like, I'm exhausted. I've done too much today. You know, you're really living that effort creates
no,
energy.
and I'm not just saying this for the show. Look at I've busted so many bones orthopedically. I'm really not in pain and I'm not medicated through it right now. So this program really does modulate inflammation. Yeah, I'm focused on modulating inflammation within my brain. Yeah, but a nice side effect is I'm modulating inflammation within my body, and that's the root cause of pain. So being able to get inflammation out of my knees, my joints, my back, a byproduct is it that I'm really not in pain.
You are the perfect example of holistic mind, body, soul, bringing everything together, not taking a diagnosis and sinking into it, deciding to fight through it, look for other ways, but do it in a way where your mind, your body, your soul, everything works together in harmony. And I
Oh,
am just so impressed.
well, thank you for pointing that out. And yeah, and for us people out there, we want to label us. Don't get scared with the labels. Okay, we throw too many on us. If core wise you get into some of this, you'll replace those labels. You
Yeah,
will.
I love that because it's easy to say like, oh, so and so told me that I have
Yeah.
this or that or whatever, and then you follow. You just people start to and sometimes decline just by thinking about that label.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. You don't have
So
to. Look at
yeah.
Robert. We never accepted losing. Never.
Never.
No. So we just don't. So it's just in
Right.
our DNA. Like, no.
Just built different. Oh my God. All right. Well, there's so many conversations that I want to have about this. I think you need to write a book about it as you go through your journey, like make a movie, something. Like I want to continue to follow your journey. And so I thank you so much for
Uh,
joining us. And yeah, so Robert, any last remaining thoughts from you as we get ready?
I'm just very appreciative, Bernie, that you came on the show and enlightened us with all this new information. We're excited. I'm excited to work with you, and I'm excited to get some guys on it.
Thank you. Hey, I always end, and it's not, I say you matter, but yes, the you matter got me started with it. But two, what we're talking about with mental health and mental health awareness and suicide prevention, I do you matter because I believe we're in a really selfish society. And I want people to know that you matter. And when you tell somebody you matter and you really look them in the eye, and you give them that self-confidence and that self-esteem, they know they matter. They go out and they radiate goodness as opposed to when you radiate out negativity to them. So when you say you matter, I want to give self-confidence and self-esteem to people because look at somebody like me, national champ, Super Bowl champion, and I had no self-confidence and self-esteem. So I want to be able to help other guys and other people be able to have that self-confidence and self-esteem by letting them know you matter.
Wow, I think that's the perfect way to end. So thank you guys, everyone, again for joining us. Thank you so much, Bernie, for your time. And we want to remind everybody, if you are struggling with a mental health crisis, please dial 988, which is the free suicide prevention line. There's also 911 if you are in an absolute emergency. As we always like to remind you, always choose life, never give up on yourself. And head to kennedykids.org. Support the cause, look for resources. Robert's got the life hat on, our acronym. And check out those resources. Again, support the cause if it's something that was within your heart to do so. But whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, we're just going to sum it up by saying you matter. And don't ever, ever forget that, because you really do. You have a purpose, and we appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you. You matter. I'll talk to you over the weekend.
All right, buddy.